Tā. Varam sākt? Varam sākt, jā. Labvakar šeit klātienē, labvakar skatītāji YouTube. Es jūs sveicu, ka mēs atklājam meditācijas telpas jauno sezonu. 2 nodarbības pēc kārtas nebūs trešdienās un būs ar ārzemju viesiem. Un šajā reizē I welcome Reverend Pasura, monk of Terevāda Buddhist tradition. Bet vispirms es gribētu dot vārdu Agnijai Kazušai, kur pārstāv Pasaules miera iniciatīvu fondu, ar kuriem mēs sadarbībā šo pasākumu rīkojam. Un Agnija jums tagad iepazīstinās gan ar mūku vairāk, gan arī ar mūsu tālāko norisi šajā vakarā. Tā, es iedošu mikrofonu.
Principā, jā, sveiki visiem, gan šeit, gan YouTube. Tikai dažos vārdos es pateikšu, ka jā, mēs pārstāvam Pasaules miera iniciatīvas fondu, un Latvijā tas ir Peace Revolution Latvija. Un tas, ko mēs darām, ir mēs veicinām mieru pasaulē, ticot, ka miers sākas ar katra paša iekšējo mieru. Tātad katram pašam jāsāk strādāt ar sevi vispirms. Un tad tas miers vairosies. Un tas, kā mēs to darām, ir organizējot šādus pasākumus, kas ir meditācijas, dažādi retrīti. Un šodien šis ir viens no tiem. Un šodien mēs esam aicinājuši mūku Pasura Dantamano no Taizemes, kurš pašlaik dzīvo Dānijā. Mūks ir Terevādas budistu mūks kopš 2006. gada. Pirms tam viņa bija tieši tāda pati dzīve kā jums. Un šodien viņš runās par darba un privātās dzīves sabalansēšanu. So, Mūks Pasura, we are very happy and honored to welcome you here today. And we will be speaking about work-life balance. And I have introduced you to our audience, so you're most welcome to start.
Does he need to translate?
He will be translating only to one person.
Oh, okay. So, good evening and welcome to the sessions of work-life balance. But really, for me, my main focus would be I love to talk more about meditation and mindfulness, because in order for us to recognize whenever life is imbalanced, is that when we actually notice what's going on with my life. Normally, we kind of lost track of time based on our own habit. My master, he gave an explanation that human body has body and mind, and it's like a plane and pilot. The mind is the pilot, and the body is the plane. Usually, we have a very young pilot and very old plane. Or in the others, we love to take care of the plane, but we have been neglecting the pilot. And not to mention that most of the time, the plane is on autopilot. So it keeps rolling from the time we get up until the time we go to sleep, without actually recognize how we are feeling, what is the objective, what should I be doing in the day, what is really matters to me, because we don't have the moment to reflect, to pause, and to look at. So, the ability for us to notice those conditions that happen with us is mindfulness. It helps us to be attentive and reflect from the third person perspective, and that is the ability that have been lost. In the old days, of course, this practice of having the moment of time with ourselves is there. Every culture, civilization has, these traditions to do prayers, to do chanting, to be meditating before going to bed. We all have that kind of traditions. But as time goes by, ever since we have this kind of thing, it tends to be lost, and this will be the last thing we see before going to bed, the first thing we see after get up, and also every moment we use the toilet. A little disgusting, sorry. But that is the reality, because we get our time being consumed by everything around us is way too much and way too fast, until we don't even recognize the moment alone just to notice what happened with me, what should be what I do, what matters to me the most. And that's what meditation really, really is. So I am starting to convince you about meditation already, and some of you have already been practicing it. So today what I like to emphasize is a little technicality of the practice of meditation that may give a little misconception idea. Most of the time when people meditating, they say, I can't do it. Meditation is very, very difficult. It's half true, to be honest. If you do it right, it's supposed to be easy, because meditation is the laziest thing anyone can ever do in their life. Sit down, close your eyes, not moving, not talking, not thinking, and relax. In fact, you're not required to do anything. You're only trying to recognize what's going on in the moment. The term meditation is very Western term. It usually refers to mental action. The word that we use is called bhavana, and it refers to development. The development of consciousness, the development of mental clarity. To develop that is not about trying to do something. It is completely the other way around. The more we let go, the more we withdraw, the more we detach, the easier we get. To put in the simplest way without the presentation is already there. This is the mind. Like this bottle of water, crystal clear. As time goes by, what we do is to put ink in this water. Ink, dust, stone, sand, until this water becomes very murky and clouded. Every single day when our life is busy, this is what we do. Shake things up. We love to shake it up. When we're actually meditating, we stop shaking and leave the bottle still. And wait for the water to stop moving and ink to settle at the bottom of the bottle. That way, we get the clarity back. And as we continue with the meditation, it also filters out those stones and those ink. That is the process. Basically, it means we simply stop shaking and observe when everything slowly settling down. So, that being said, it needs from starting to understand our mind. Number one, we think a lot. You know that very well, that we think really a lot. But number two, we can't force our mind to stop thinking. And this is why a lot of time when people practice meditation, they feel like I can't do it, because we are trying to force our mind to be silent right away, which is not going to happen. You can do that for a very short period of time, but if you do that, it will become tense. There are two things I'd like to emphasize: the forced attention and natural attention. Remember when you were young and you were at school, you don't like to be in the class, but you had to listen to the teachers, so you try to pay attention by forcing yourself to pay attention. Did it work? Yes. Did it work for a very long time? No. Because it gets tired at some point. That's what's going on, the same thing. And we use this mindset, perspective to do everything. When we go to work, when we're in a relationship, we force our attention with what we want to focus on. It stays for a short time and it gets tired. So, we have an analogy, of course, and you've probably heard it many times, that the mind is like a monkey. But if you take a little bit more closer look at the monkey, two things about the monkey. Number one, he's naughty. He moves around, he doesn't like to be still. But also the second thing about the movie, he doesn't like to be forced. When we force the monkey, let's say we put the monkey in the cage, what would the monkey do? He will fight to get out. He will struggle, right? He will resist you. And that's what happened when we force the attention. We put the monkey in the cage. So the monkey doesn't really kind of agree with you. Now, the same thing with the monkey. If you want the monkey to come closer to you and be friendlier, what do? Give banana, correct. Basically, we give him a treat. My point is that every techniques of meditation, no matter what schools or tradition they are from, they are banana. The end goal is to calm the monkey down. What really share in common across the board of the traditions or the techniques are how you give banana to a monkey. Imagine if you have the banana and the monkey and you want the monkey to come closer to you. Do you run after the monkey with a banana and try to shove it in his mouth? Not gonna work. So what you do is you sit back, relax, take your time, be gentle, be friendly, wait for the monkey to come a little closer and a little closer, little by little. You don't run after the monkey, you be patient, waiting for the monkey to come to you by keep holding on to banana the longest possible. That's what meditation looks like. So, that being said, it's about slowly grow that attention little by keep recognizing what happened in the moment. In the other word, having the mindfulness with you. So, this is what most people have as expectation. The moment I close my eyes, my mind is supposed to be completely silenced without thought. Reality is not going to happen. It's going to be like, oh, sorry, it's already gone to that one. Like that, like the heart monitor. One thought or distraction, a little bit of silence, another thought or distraction, another bit of silence. In one session of meditation, that's what you will have, a lot of cycle of thoughts and silence. So, then what happens in meditation? If you keep coming back to be present, the length or the intermittent between each thought will getting longer and longer and longer as time goes by until you feel that your mind become calm and less thought and less wandering. So the key is not to trying to suppress the mind from thinking because that will end up using physical sensation. What we want is to withdraw from physical sensation. So as long as we're using it, it never been withdrawn. So observe what's going on very comfortably, relaxingly, slowly notice and develop that natural attention until it calms down. And that's what natural attention, this heartbeat is like. So, that being said, today in the meditation, I will just go by step, and if it's possible, please also try to take your time with that as well. So, this is still called the checkpoints. Having checkpoints is easy because it's something that you can notice when you get lost the attention and how you can turn it back very simply to be with yourself. But to go from each checkpoint, the key is to take your time. Don't rush. Meditation is not about what happened after 1 hour or half an hour at the end of the practice. It's what you are cultivating during the moment of the practice itself. So take your time from one to the next. The first one, sitting posture. Make sure that you have found the posture that you are really comfortable with. It doesn't matter if you choose to be on the chair or on the floor, as long as it feels very, very comfortable and balanced to you. It should be something that you don't have to feel like this is uncommon, this is unnatural, this is way too forced. Because otherwise your attention cannot be with the banana, it will be with your body instead. That's the trick. Number one, take your time to adjust your sitting posture. If you want to be on the chair, on the chair. If you want to be on the floor, as long as you feel that this is my spot. I sit down, I don't have to worry about my body from this point onward. Take your time with that. Number two, take a few moments to really relax your body. So slowly turning your attention back down to slowly relax from head to the toe, little by little. By doing so, number one, your attention will return to be with you here in the moment. Number two, your thought will also slow down because you're slowly recognizing the body sensation one by one. And afterward, feel your mind. It sounds simple in theory, but of course, you need a little trick to do so. We don't actually kind of release using something to clean our mind inside like that. We actually turn the attention to something lighter and easier to capture on. Why? When you think about your work or relationship or your problem, what happens is the mind holds on like this. very tightly. The tighter it holds, the more burdened, the more uncomfortable it will be. And this is when the mind can't let go. So in order for the mind to be free from this, you need to create a little spot for the mind to land on. And that's why it becomes little technique like, let's say, starting from breathing. So if you can try to feel your breath, don't regulate your breath, just feel it going in, feel your breath going in deeper down until it touches to where your breath ends inside your belly. Can you feel it? And breathe out, feel that, okay, I'm just observing the flow is going out. Let's say you're feeling it goes in again. Feel it touch and feel it turn until it's slowly coming out. Can you notice that? You see that you're not really a regulator of your breath. You feel the breath as it's flowing, passing through you. So in that way, your mind let go of this bottle and touch upon something really light, like the air. The other one that you can use is what I prefer, which is imagine myself in an empty, open space, like I'm on a holiday, because I love holidays. Imagine myself in the place where I don't have to care about anybody or anything, where I can extend my attention to the horizon. In your case, you can also imagine yourself, let's say, actual holiday where you go to the beach or the mountaintop and just observe that open space around you for a while. Like that? Starting from something very simple, because in that way we begin to recognize our attention or the consciousness. So at some point, bring it back down to feel inside, to turn the attention back to be within yourself where your breath ends, the point where you just feel comfortable earlier, and keep aware with that. Now, when you continue to be with that, at some point, your mind will be distracted. The monkey will start jumping and running around. What do? Start your checkpoint again. Posture, body, space, and back inside. It does not matter how many times you need to restart, because each time you do, you recognize what's going on, you are being mindful, you are being present. Then a few more techniques that we will do is so-called the visualization of the brightness. So after you bring it inside until you feel and notice the sensation within yourself, let materialize into an object. Let's say visualize that there is the bright shining sun that emerged at that point as a symbolistic or representation of the mind. So as long as you can still feel the sun glowing within you, the mind is right there. And of course, in some cases, our mind tend to be super noisy. So what we can try is also another technique, which is the mantra. This is pretty common and simple that you probably have heard this before. But the way to use the mantra, it may not what you think. So instead, you are the one who sing the mantra. Be the one who feel the sound passing through you. Like what? Let's say you go to a restaurant and there's a very nice music playing in the background and you don't really pay attention because you are captivating with everything. The music is just soothing and it's comfortable to hear. Make the mantra sound like that. You just simply listening to the sound that echoing from within yourself without trying to say it or force it out from you. The mantra that I use is this one, Samma Araham, which means absolute purity. Of course, feel free to use any mantra you like. There's no restriction. You can use here and now, peace and love, clear and bright, in English, in Latvian, in Latin, in anything. Up to you, as long as you feel that the sound is echoing from inside. So, then, of course, when you begin to feel so much thinking and distraction, reset and restart. It's all about how to find a balance between awareness and comfort or concentration and relaxation. As long as you keep coming back and restart, you begin to be present again. Let it go down slowly, little by little, until you find the stillness within yourself. Thoughts are like birds. Oh. Okay. Thoughts are like birds flying by. Like you sit on the beach, when you see birds, what do? You don't shoot the bird, you don't chase the bird. You just notice the bird and let it fly away. Thoughts are like that. If you pay attention to the bird, then you end up feeding the bird, and the bird will enjoy the conversation with you. What the bird will do? Make a nest on your head and lay eggs. And now you will have so many birds afterward. So what do? Notice the bird and let it fly away. That's it. That's how to deal with thoughts. You don't need to fight it, okay? So this is what I prepared briefly just to get the meditation technique started, because let's start with the guided meditation before to talk about the work-life balance. Okay? So the big question would be, they have set these things up like this. You like to be there or like to be there? Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's take it easy. Start from stretching your body. Stretch your neck, your arms, your shoulders. Loosen up your muscles so that it will not be bother you later on. Before closing your eyes, take a few moments to turn the attention back to be with your body while adjusting your sitting posture. Adjust until you really feel that the blood circulation flows comfortably from head to toes. Remind yourself not to rush into adjusting your posture. It should be the one that feels natural to you, that you don't feel like you have to force your body. Rest your hands on your lap very comfortably without detecting any tension at the elbows or the shoulders. Gently turn your attention to feel the floor under your body or your feet. Observe the sensation in your legs until you feel relaxed from your calf to your knees, your thighs to your hip. Adjust the back, the neck to be straight and upright without feeling any tension down at the lower back. As your sitting posture is getting comfortable, allowing both of your eyes to close very softly in the way that your eyelashes gently touch one another, and the relaxation from your eyes slowly fill your entire body. from your face down to your legs and your toes. If you still detect any discomfort, feel free to gently adjust until you are content with your sitting posture. And if later on this posture begins to be uncomfortable, feel free to adjust gently at any time. There is no need to force yourself sitting without movement. As your posture is more comfortable, then slowly turn your attention to your body sensation. Observe the feeling on your body, the sensation on your skin, the sound that is in contact with your ears, all the way to feeling your breath flowing, passing your nostrils until it goes down very softly to where it turns deep inside your abdomen, and let it exhale very long, soft and slow. Feeling your breath in gentler, softer than the last time. Notice the sensation when your breath touched and turned within your body. Feeling it again very gently and deeply, slowly, until you can feel every particle of the air that goes down and coming out, and automatically your attention will return to be with you in the present moment, where the thoughts begin to slow down. As your attention is returning, let's reinforce that relaxation a little bit more by turning the attention to relax every muscle, beginning from the top of the head. Gently move it down to the forehead. Relax both of your temples, down to the eyebrows, your eyes, nose, cheeks, all the way to the back of your head, feeling the relaxation down to your neck, shoulders. Let it flow down along both of your arms to your hands until feeling that relaxation touch your fingertips. Allow all of your facial muscles to be so relaxed. And then turn the attention to relax the muscle at your chest. Turn it down to the abdomen, legs, feet, all the way to the tips of the toes. Allow your entire body to slowly be more relaxed until there is no trace of tension remain at any muscle. The blood circulation can flow smoothly from top to toes. When your body is comfortable, your mind, your attention can be with yourself in the moment very naturally, just like our home when it is clean and comfortable. We would like to be there the longest possible. So take the time to relax all the facial muscles, shoulders, and all of the joints in the body until you are more comfortable. Slowly observe the flow of your breath a few more times. Notice the air that passes the nostrils. Observe every bit of the flow that touches the turning point deep in your abdomen. As you are exhaling, allow your mind to be free from every single matter, no matter what they are about. Let it all out. Let it all go. Follow that flow of your gentle breathing a few times until your attention returns to be here with yourself, with your present, very gently. As your mind is here with yourself, take a moment to observe your space, or imagine as if you are sitting alone, away in an open space, or a beautiful scenery where there is no body, where there is no demands, calls, where you can just be yourself, free from any requirements. Allow yourself to be in an open space where you can extend the attention until it touches the horizon. Allow your mind to be free from every single matter and affairs. There will be thoughts or distractions appearing from time to time. Anytime you notice them, turn the attention back to be with your body relaxation and your space again. Anytime that you are lost in those thoughts Gently restart from observing the posture, relaxing the body, and bringing it down to be in this space again, until you can imagine yourself sitting in the middle of that space, far and wide, with your mind free from holding on to matters. Let it all out. Let it all go. Allow your mind to just be here, where you are most at ease, until you are more comfortable with your mind and your body. Then please slowly turn your attention back to be within yourself by observing the comfort you found where your breath ends, feeling the space within your body where that delicate sensation waiting for you. Slowly let your mind touch softly within that comfort spot where your breath ends, and let it stay there, as if the mind is coming back to its home after a long journey. And here is where the mind is content and calm. Here is where the mind can be still for as long as possible. Anytime there is any distraction, simply notice and turn back to where you are comfortable inside. It doesn't matter how many times you need to restart, as long as you keep coming back here and now in that comfort and relaxation. Awareness and comfort should go hand in hand, so we don't end up using our physical thoughts to harness the attention. When we notice the comfort, our attention is here very softly. Sometimes, when the level of comfort is a little too much, until you begin to feel sleepy, then you may slightly open the eyes, just enough to see incoming light, and your awareness will be raised until it's easier to maintain the attention with the present. Once we found the balance, we can continue with the stillness without the notion of time. because of that contentment, anytime you are content while meditating, that means you are not bothered by any frustration, desire. Anytime it comes with agitation, that is when the mind are trying to go somewhere or finding something. And that is when we shall begin from the beginning, turn it back to relax the body and bringing it down here, deep within, so softly and comfortably. If you are content with this stillness, let it continue this way. If you feel like you need a tool to hold your attention there, then you may visualize a bright object like the shining bright sun, feeling it appear at your center space. Let the sun be the representation of your mind. The image is not clear or sharp. It is just a gentle awareness of the sun radiating from inside. So please keep your attention there, gently, softly, feeling the sun radiating, warm and bright. Let your mind be with the sun until it comes to stillness. The sun shining inside may change to other images. Our part is simply to observe whatever is going on. We are not a director. We are simply an observer. So let it stay still with the sun, bright and brighter. Anyone who feels distraction is still there. You may let the sound of the mantra echoing from deep inside. No need to say it out loud. Simply let the sound rising from deep within yourself. Samma arahang, samma arahang, samma arahang. Let it repeat softly, continuously from inside. It can be any other phrases or words, as long as you let them appear in the same way. And eventually, the mind will return to be within. When that happens, the sound will fade out into silence. From then, let's continue to be still, observing further until we are distracted, then turn it back to restart from the body down to the mind, from the sun back to the mantra. Again, from the beginning to the end, to reach the deeper state is to let go. Let go of our interpretation, judgment. Allow everything to pass by. Whatever experiences that come across, our part is only to observe without any other interaction. In the other words, being impassive of whatever happened, while being content and calm. With the stillness, our mind will be clearer and brighter. The Buddha once said, if the water is murky, whatever creature swimming in the water cannot be seen. If the water is clear, all the creatures in the water can be seen easily. Just like our mind, when it is clouded, we cannot see what's in the mind. When it is clear, we can see what's beneath it. Knowledge, insight, intuition comes when the mind is clear. And to clear the mind, it does not need any action. It is simply to let it be still. Let the sun that we visualize shine. Let the sound of the mantra passing through so gently. Samma arahang, Samma arahang, Samma arahang, until deeper and deeper it goes, layers after layers. Maintain the stillness of the mind with ease. Be gentle with the mind, staying still inside. Feel the sun shining inside. With your mind rests comfortably still, with ease. Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang. Observe the sensation of peace arising from inside. Allow the mind to withdraw from bodily sensation until it can move deeper, where everything is lighter, broader. Here at the center, the mind rests so still. As the mind staying still with your inner peace, please gently turn the attention to touch within, recalling this loving kindness, your positive intents for every creature, beings to live happily, until all of the good intention formulate into like the sun, and let it slowly expand. Imagine that light and energy of loving kindness expand until it fills this room, the whole building, reaching out further throughout the neighborhood, the city, whoever it reaches, may they live without sadness, dangers, and pain. May every creature live happily, free from harm. Expand the boundary of loving kindness further across the country, the whole continent, and across the world, beyond borders, boundaries. May every creature be free from danger, misery, from harm. May everyone live with joy, without any pain, any sorrow, broadcasting your loving kindness further, above and beyond, further from deep within yourself. Allow it to expand. As you have shared this peace all around, sending it to your loved one, family and friend, whether deceased or alive, wherever they are, may they receive the share of this energy and live joyfully. One by one, reaching out to all of your loved ones. And now that you have shared this loving kindness, please gently turn the attention back to be with yourself. Slowly recognize your physical sensation, your face, your hands, your entire body. And follow your breath in and out. Very gently, feeling your breath reaching down and out, while maintaining the attention deep within the body. Let your breath flow. Sapphe Buddha Palapatta Paccheka Nanta Yang Palang Arahanta Nanta Te Sena Rakang Kantami Sapaso Te Talata Sakita Virunha Putasasane Aroka Sakita Hota Sahas Sapphe Hiyati Pi Sapha Buddha Nupavena Sapha Dhamma Nupavena Sapha Sankha Nupavena Satha Soti Bhavantu Te. So now if you can slowly stretch your neck, shoulders, your arms, your hands. And let's go back to the chair. How's the monkey? And did your monkey get to relax at some point? A little bit. So, of course, the next part is the topic of work-life balance. I'm sure that you think, what do monks know about work-life balance? How busy your life can be? But honestly, I've become a monk at 28 years old. So before that, I was like you. I used to work a lot. I was a hotel manager for 2 years, and then I worked 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I got really tired, so I changed to another job, which is the flight attendant. And then afterward, I decided to take a break to be, more reflecting on what should I do. So that's when I decided to be a monk. Initially, I wanted to be a monk for 4 months. Honestly, I didn't have that noble intention, believe me. But after the 4 months, I get to find a different approach to the way life can be. And here we are, 17 years afterward. One thing I really started to understand that not this one. In the Buddhist word, the word learning coming from the word sikha or sikha. And literal translation of the word learning in Buddhist terms refer to see yourself. Ikha means to see. S at the front is actually shortened from the other word. It means self. So together, meaning to study or to educate means to see ourselves. The weird thing is that in modern education, we spend a lifetime trying to learn about everything, to know about everything and everyone except here. Our body is designed to look outside, so we can never see our face. We only see ourselves, the reflection in the mirror. Left switch to right, right switch to left. We still believe that our face. So we only see other faces. So what do we do when we see them? They are terrible, they talk too much, they're annoying, they are all bad, 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 until there's only one good person left. Which one? The one we don't see, of course. So, when I asked my master, what is really the essence of meditation practice? He's trying to summarize into one word: turning our mind to stay still within. That is the main conclusion, because the only time we are able to see ourselves is when our mind is back inside and we are able to look inward. We can start to notice what happened with us, whether what is good, is bad, is right, is wrong, what we should do, what we shouldn't be doing. Otherwise, our old habit will kickstart. When I became a monk on the very first day, there was actually a part of the ordination process to go to the teacher and said, asking for permission that from now on, I will be observing your habit. You think that most of the time, okay, in the temple, the monks, the master should be sitting on the stage, giving the teaching in front of the blackboard. No, no, no. In the old day, you're supposed to be observing them, learning how to behave and how to practice, learning by the habit, not learning by theoretical study, because that when we get the practical aspect of it. And we use that to reflect on seeing ourselves. So the question is that, when was the last time we have a chance to pause and look inside? In the text, it's also talk about two of the main Dhamma principles that is actually very common. You probably hear it so many times before. The word mindfulness is actually a very common word, and people use it all the time. Most of the time, it was used as the method of meditation, the method of being attentive. But in fact, the word mindfulness or the word sati refer to the state of the mind when we are conscious, recollect, remember, or remind. So which means any time that you recognize anything that happened right here in the moment, you have that mindfulness. You are being mindful. What is the benefit of that? When that state of being mindful is continuing, it leads to the second one that most of the time is not mentioned, and that is what we call sampachanya. Sampachanya translates as introspection, circumspection, or thorough or clear comprehension, which means when I have my attention or being mindful long enough, my attention is with me, I can reflect deeper on what I do, what is bad and what is wrong. And that is the difference between letting it keep going on and on and on and on. For example, if I recognize that I am smoking, that is mindfulness. I am smoking, I know I'm smoking, that is being mindful. But then after I have more attention with the activity itself, what am I doing and why do I need them? Is it necessary for me? That is introspection. So in order to identify whether you have been losing balance between your work and your life, the first thing first is to know yourself. What is needed for you? What matters to you? So, and that's when we're able to bring the attention back inside. And our mind also do one thing. Whatever is focused on, it will magnify. When you are happy, you focus on something that makes you happy, you're getting happier. When you get upset, you focus on that person's face, your anger is increasing and multiplying. So that's what the attention we have can be also put on something else and help us to see them clearer and bigger in different perspectives. Like I said though, I used to be a work hard, play hard kind of person, and I also actually quite hot-tempered. My friend never believed I could work in the service industry. So that time, the only thing they have to hold me from, punching everyone, actually a little motto from the Godfather: it's not personal, it's business. So as long as it's on the job, it's fine, but all of the job, you die, kind of personality. So that's me. But later on, I realized it doesn't have to be there. So then, going back to our life, the thing is that human body, when it is born, the very first thing we do is to take a breath, which means every first moment that we do, what we do is consumption. And for a lifetime, we can never stop consumption. You need to consume to survive. The last moment of your breath is the last moment that you're staying alive, which means the whole lifetime is be consumption. It sounds simple. But then when you eat, what do you think about? Am I eating for survival? Or it has to be Italian, or it has to be Turkish, or it has to be this food, or it has to be that food, or it has to be with that person, it has to be that restaurant. It's a lot more complicated than that, including everything. You're staying cold. What do you need to keep yourself from being cold? Clothing. In my practice, we have one reflection. Before using these necessities, we have a reflection on them for the purpose of them. These are the clothes that protect my body from heat, from cold, from insect bite, and cover the part that should not be shown. It has nothing that says mission, fashion statement. When you buy the clothes, what do you think about? Survival? No, it's fine. I'm not going to stop you from going shopping. But reality is that there's actually one Buddhist text that talks about the human nature conditions. The Buddha actually said there are 10 conditions that we should constantly examine: cold, hot, hunger, thirst, the need to poop, and the need to pee. Very weird. It's like, why the Buddha told me to reflect on my poop? Weird thing enough. It is the reason because when you feel hungry, you need food, you need necessity for survival. You can be sitting right here, the temperature is controlled digitally, but you're still feeling hot, you're feeling cold from time to time because your element is deteriorating and changing, which means you need necessity for survival. And because of need necessity, it means we need to go to work. Every work is karma, because karma period means action, which means for a lifetime we can never stop committing karma. We still have to do them. The point being is that because of looking for this necessity, it leads to what? It leads to working, it leads to trying to find many things, consumptions, and of course, when we begin to consuming, we try to look forward into the futures, and oh, if I don't get enough, it becomes something that we are afraid. We begin to prepare, we begin to over-speculate it. Of course. One thing that I like when I was told from the master is to live the life like a big tree that needs small amount of water. That's actually the basic of our life, my life actually. That is what he told us. If you can live your life like a big tree that takes so little from the world, that big tree provides shading, shelter, fruit for a lot of other animals. So you give benefits back to the world while taking as little resource as possible. If we live our life like a small tree that takes so much water, eventually it's not sustained. It can't survive for very long. Nobody wants that kind of tree. So that is one of the notions how to live. Therefore, from the same text, to break it down, in order for us to be more balanced, everything based on time. Don't think that we can live very long. According to the Buddhist text, it is said, if we breathe in and don't breathe out, we die. If we breathe out and don't breathe in, we die, which means life and death is only one breath apart. It's not many years apart. It's only one breath away. So, which means that we have only limited time to deal with everything. And there are so many things that you have to do. Number one, health. So the first 6 conditions where they talk about cold, hot, hunger, thirst, poop, and pee is all about how to monitor, manage, and maintain our good health. That is the main notion. Do you need to stay healthy in order to have the energy and time for something else further and more purposeful in life? Yes, you need that. If your body is not healthy, you're going to be enjoying your life? Not really. Does good health come free? Not really. So meaning that you have to really pay attention to how you manage your health. That's the first aspect of time. Then, of course, in order to survive, you can't live alone. You have to have social aspect of life. In this social aspect, there are many types of relationship that you have to be with. Some of you in one person can be both the husband, the son, the father in one particular person, which means that every one of you, every one of us has more than one status. And each of these relationships has duties for each other. Duty as a friend, duty as a husband, this duty as a girlfriend, duty as a daughter, they are different. If we don't perform that duty, there will be problem with our social life. And when we don't have good social life, it brings you the second problem. How do you manage that? With time. Then, of course, after you manage your relationship, the third thing that you need to do is the money. Of course, I'm not saying the money is good or bad, it's just a medium of transaction, but you still need it for survival, which means you need to go to work. And this is the one that we focus a lot because we are worried that we can't sustain our life enough by focusing on working. So these are the first 3 boxes that we spend a great deal of time on. Every single day, you get it in the morning till the nighttime, this is what you focus on, right? But one thing that we tend to forget is the last one, the pilot, who maneuver the plane into different directions. Number one, we don't see it. We can easily forget about the mind. We can easily forget that we have them. But when the mind is murky and clouded, we cannot see what's inside. We don't notice what our day is gone. And human is an animal of habit. We act everything based on habit. You sleep in your bedroom. What do you do after get up? Toilet. After the toilet, what do you do? Breakfast. After breakfast, what do you do? Change your clothes, and then what? Go to work. After finish working, what do you do? Come back home, dinner, and then what? Change your clothes, brush your teeth, go back to bed. Do you notice every single day it's pretty much always repeating again and again and again because that is autopilot. Everyone has the habit. We have the habit. The way you eat will be the way you eat almost every day. The way you brush your teeth, the way you use the toilet, the way you work, the way you interact with people, especially certain person, you interact in the same way almost every day without knowing whether it's good or bad. Because that is what habit is. So, how can we change the habit in order to manage this? Because in order to have this, you need to spend time on them. It doesn't start from the first one, it starts from the last one. Because when you have your attention with you and your mind become clear, it gives you the opportunity to reflect on what is your day, how it should be, how you want it to be, and how to manage them. Without this, the first 3 will continue to just act on the habit that we already have established. So it's all about how to find that new sort of types of new habit. And that is going back to the mind. The mind controls the body, which means because of the mind, it becomes thoughts, thought become words, word become action. But what really strongly influences our mind is the habit, because there are a lot of times we do things without thinking at all. It just stimulates from the environment and follow through right away. So, habit is constructed like this. Everything that comes into contact with our senses, see, hear, smell, taste, and feel, we perceive them, we think about them, it becomes our understanding, it becomes our thought, thought becomes words, word becomes action. When these interaction is repeating, it becomes what? It becomes habit. The moment it becomes habit, when you are triggered by those environments, automatic reaction. What does that mean? It means that physical environment and human environment are the cause of your habit, either good or bad. So let's say I'm a workaholic. I'm crazy about my work. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But I tend to kind of forget the moment I'm in my loop, on my desk, on my computer, I tend to kind of get lost in it very easily and lost track of time, which means I end up not paying attention to other aspects that would means I need for my life, because the habit will kickstart. So this is how the habit is created. Therefore, if we want to manage those 4 aspects of time, how do we start? It starts from actually creating a new habit so that we can manage them, spending time to explore them. And it starts very, very simple with mindfulness. I said this so many times before on meditation, which is people tend to think that we can revolutionize our life in one day. Let's say you want to stay mindful, you want to be balanced, and you start the day tomorrow. Not going to happen. Reality, you're going to have that motivation to do it for a few days and you're going to stop. It's not hard to have the willpower to do it once. It's very difficult to maintain that amount of willpower to sustain it. And in order to create a new habit, you need to sustain the same action again and again and again. So therefore, when it comes to monks' practice, the first thing that we do is to clear up everything. When I enter the temple, actually, they have 2-3 weeks training before I actually take part of being a monk. But the first day, you know what they did to me? They shaved my head. So I make sure that I don't run away. They took everything away and gave me a box. In the box, they only a few sets of clothes, 2 books, and toiletries. And they put me to sleep in the monk's tent. Monk's tent is not your fancy tent. It is an umbrella tied to a pole, lying on a plastic sheet covered in mosquito net. And someone who is my size, as if there's no umbrella. My hand is here, my legs are there. The first 3 weeks, I was almost flip out, honestly, because it was like, what the hell is this? I had to wake up 4:30 in the morning, so dead tired, only had 2 meals a day, no hair, nothing at all. And because I was a flight attendant, the first 2-3 weeks, it was always jet lag. Like I couldn't even stay awake, it was hard. But I remember one thing though, there was one night I woke up, I started to feel very quiet. There's like nothing to think about, nothing to worry about. And it's weird thing enough is that it comes when I had nothing at all. Barely no possession. And one thing as a monk that my master told me later on, because when we have a lot, we tend to occupy a lot. Our mind attach on them a lot more. We spend a great deal of time with them. So if we want to change our lifestyle from decluster and change the environment, that will trigger the habit. In order to change the habit, there are 2 things to start. Number 1, adjust the environment. Number 2, adjust your interaction or your action towards those environments. Both of them require mindfulness. Being mindful enough to notice what's going on and what you need to deal with and how you deal with them. For example, let's say I want my life to be a bit more organized. How do you start? Start getting up without the snoozing. If it's the time you set, get up, then get up, make the bed and move on. Not getting up, go to the toilet, and come back and look at the bed and say, I have 10 more minutes, and go back there again. And continue to another snooze, and 10 more minutes, and on and on and on. Finally, you end up half an hour late. You know what? It will affect you as a habit. It will end up procrastinating every single thing in your life. So when you begin to procrastinate your time, the 4 boxes of time will always be put on later. I will deal with them later and later, which means you never get to deal with them at all. So if you start to bring order back, start from organizing your time. When we practice as a monk, that's actually more like the main thing, the very first thing. Number one, throw things away. Number two, organize our time. This is the time to eat. This is the time to meditate. This is the time to do the chanting. This is the time to clean the toilet. This is the time to clean the temple. Exactly the same time every day to recreate a new habit for us to know exactly what to do, when to do, and how to do it. Of course, I'm not saying you have to revolutionize your life in one day, but you can start simple just from the time you get up. Or, in the other words, start before you go to bed. Take a little moment to close your eyes, clear your mind, sit on your bed, and just read back, reinforce on the reflection what happened in the day, set your mind for what you need to be done tomorrow. So that will be a good start to replanning and create a balance already before you let your habit take its control. So, the moment that you begin to starting little by little like that, it begins to create a new interaction with those activities. And finally, you started to notice these 4 boxes of time that you need to deal with easier and change them. These phones, these devices also have the feature of multiple alarms. Anybody here, let's say you want to get up at 7, you start setting alarm at 6, 6:15, 6:30, 6:45, and manage to get up again at 7:30. So that also indicates how hesitant you can be. Instead of, this is the time, I'm going to get up at this time. I'm sure that, of course, some feel worried that you may not get up because you can be very hard sleeper, all that. But another point could be you worry, you have not made a final decision. This is the time for me to do this and do that. So if you have not been so committed to do it, it's never get it done. And it's not going to be just waking up. It's going to be the meal time, the work time, the exercise time, relationship time. Not going to happen. So start from rearranging of your management of time, and that can be a very good start. Number 2, change the environment. I'm not saying to change your apartment or change your house. I'm saying, like, for example, right now, let's say if you think mindfulness meditation is important, how can I start? At your home, when the time that you walk in, is there any little corner you feel like, I just want to spend my time here quietly? If there is no such space, then you can start creating a little corner that you feel like this is a cozy spot. The moment I notice this thing, I want to just sit down and close my eye for a bit. It could be just a little of that. The other one, throw away things that you don't need. When we have too much in our mind, it's like the floor now is very clean. If I put one trash on the floor, you notice that trash right away. But if this floor is full of trash, I can throw 10 more pieces of trash, you're not going to notice anything. Just like our mind, just like our life. When it's less cluster, we can notice things that goes wrong a lot easier as well. But if it's full of everything, we're not going to see anything extra on top. And that's the same goes with the mind and our life. So in order to change what's going on in my mind, let's start from the environment. Let's say go back to your restroom, toilet, your dressing counter, that how many half-empty bottles of shampoo, a lotion that have a little bit left but still there for a few years already. It's probably the good time to eliminate them because you're not going to touch them again. So in that way, at least you can clear the cluster in your mind. When you have that space for you, you have the space in your mind. And with the space in your mind, then you find yourself that available time. Because right now, when I say to you all of this about changing habit, become more mindful, start practicing this and that, the first excuse that everyone has, I am too busy. I don't have time. How can I find the time? You can't. There is no way that you're going to go back home and find extra 30 minutes to close your eyes and meditate. So integrate it with something that you already do. How you brush your teeth, how you start your meal, how you start your day, how you begin your works. As simple as sitting on your desk, close your eyes, take a deep breath before you're about to begin your work, just to notice that, okay, this is what I'm about to do, to reset your mind first. When it starts to keep going on a little bit further, too much, pause in between, maybe every 1 hour, take a bit pause just for a minute to close your eyes and bring it back. Raise that awareness by integrating with the action itself. So in that way, instead of trying to find extra time for something that you have never done before, by putting it into something that you have to do every day. And from that, you can slowly increasing the time and slowly become more mindful, become more conscious of what's going on. In our practice, it's actually very simple. My temple was founded by a nun. When she founded the temple, she was 60 years old. She could not read and write, not a word. She never been to school at her age, those years, those school for girls. So she started building a temple from an empty piece of land 53 years ago with $100 and only 10 students. Nowadays, the temple has 3,000 monks, 100 international centers, and 80 domestic centers, with the foundation that coming from someone who never read and write. What did she get? Good habit. The first thing that she taught everyone who come to the temple at those days, you know what she taught? How to clean toilet. Seriously, how to clean toilet, and you know the way to clean? And not only the clean and using them. Her standard is this: leave it clean and dry as if the next person is the first one to use it. Just like that. If you want to, let's say, practice mindfulness in the toilet, how do you do it? As simple as a little time to look back, did I leave it as clean as someone who comes after me want to use them? That is the first start of mindfulness. You see that you don't even have to create extra allotment of time to input something new in your life. You have to pee every day, right? Starting from that, just become more aware of how you leave them. And that could be a little good start. This is what my master taught me. You think that he taught all the Buddhist texts? Yeah, he did. All the philosophical stuff he did. But what he really emphasized is a little bit more on the practical aspect, and to do this. Keep things clean, tidy, be polite and punctual, and continue to meditate as much as we can. Where? In these stations of life that we have to do them. Why? Because keeping things tidy in your bedroom, in our toilet, keeping our clothes, they're not the same way, but you do them every day. So when you do that, what happens? You become mindful, you become aware. You become less clustered. You study to notice need and want. And when we begin to focus on what we need, we can be a big tree that consumes small amount of water. And in that, we have a lot to share, to give, and to benefit, to balance. At the end of the day, it's not about whether I have to find, I work only 8 hours, I stop working 8 hours. You can actually be more working if you notice how to keep track of other aspects of your life and still maintain good health, good relationship, good mind. In fact, if your mind is clear, you probably have even more energy to do all of them and live 200%, 300% of your life, rather than expect that this is just 100% to divide into 8 hours of working. When you get up Monday morning, how do you feel? Not another week of my work. Or, wow, I have another week to embrace. How do you feel? The first one or the second one? If it's the first one, that is the mentality that I hate my life. What is going to happen in the next coming week? Everything in your day is terrible. Because your mindset already look at them as something despised. You don't even like them. So that requires the way we look at them. There is actually one Buddhist principle of how to be successful, how to kind of successful in anything. You know what the first thing is? Passion. Want to do, love to do something. If you don't have that love, you don't have the passion, we're not going to put endeavor in it. We're going to be patient with it. We're not going to be making assessment to get better at it. So these are the principles, but they start from passion, endeavor, patience, and assessment. The first one is what we need to build up. How do we be more passionate of all these aspects of life that we don't even want to do, but we have to do? Pause your mind, increase that moment of awareness, attention, consciousness to you, to notice that if I have to do, find a little something I can be appreciative of, to be passionate about. And in that way, instead of feeling that depressed to do something that you have to do, then you become happier to do, and then it becomes 200%, 300% of your life, rather than just less than 50. So, this one, and this one is one I want to share with you tonight. So, don't believe me. Go back and look at them. You have them already. Now it's only the time that you take a step back to look at them, reflect them, and how you want to manage them. If you actually look at them clearly, you will notice I have abundance of time to do them if I cut down on the Facebook and Instagram. So, thank you.
Here, we're grateful and thank you with the brightness from a Latvian garden in Terevādas. Here you are. And thank you for tulkošanu. Lūdzu. Es jūs arī no tās prezentēju. Un paldies Ilmāram par jūsu uzņēmību un laika uzņemšanu šeit. Un paldies YouTube grupai. Un ja jūs vēlaties vēl saņemt informāciju par citiem